Yo, 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 yo. It is Moose back with another intro. Dusty started shout out to Dusty, man. He started a new job today. So he's working and I'm at home working on a podcast. So it's just me again today. First thing I want to say is sorry about the audio quality for the first part of this interview. It is kind of wonky. I forgot to record the tracks that all of our microphones were on for like the first 12 minutes. But we had the camera set up and it's not as good, but we have some audio from the first 12 minutes. So we cut that in. We like to be as real as possible with least amount of edits as we can do. That way it's coming through, as real as possible. Anyway, so you'll hear it cut in and we talk about it anyway. We talked today with our good buddy Drake Freeman about songwriting with and without words. And in that, I mean, composition and, how instruments fit in correctly within a song and how to, different phrases speak. I wouldn't say in place of words, but maybe, I guess, like if you're an instrumental artist. Dusty could explain that better if he was here. But also, big shout out to Greg Walton just for being a badass all the way around. Love that dude. And I've had too much coffee this morning, so I feel like I'm breathing heavy, but whatevs. Our thoughts on ASMR. If you don't know what ASMR is, you will find out in this podcast. Unfortunately, my example of ASMR didn't get translated because of the technical difficulties. Then we also talked about YouTube traps and holes and just like getting stuck on YouTube for, an hour or hours in some instances. We also had a huge discussion about Chick-fil-a versus Zaxby's, and since Dusty's not here to defend himself, I'm going to say it. Chick-fil-A is better. It's just better. And we give our opinions on that, but and why. Drake loves Chick-fil-A, so he got hype about that one. And everyone needs to convince him to do a podcast. He has the name, I forget the name off the top of my head, but is it like Little Guy, Big Pants or something, something like that? But I think he could start a cool podcast with a lot of the traveling to gigs and stuff that he does. We briefly touched on in this episode, part 2 we'll have more of it, but and I think that's mainly what we talk about in part 2, but Drake's start with music and like how that all started, since it's his first time here. Of course, we went over his origin story and figured that out, dug into that a little deeper, and then also touched on how he got started with doing gigs in his hometown. And I think his dad was the first guy to give him a gig at his local spot, and then kind of progressed from there. And as always, thank you guys so much for listening. I didn't rant as long this time as I did last time, so trying to get a little better at that. But shout out to our sponsors. Shaw Audio, always keeping us with some clean, crispy, audio around this area of actually all over the country, probably all over the world, for as much as I know. They make good stuff. Check them out. And Amp Entertainment, we love them. The Amp fam is always doing good stuff. They are the shit, really. They're just hard workers, and thank you always for supporting the podcast. We love you guys. And we have a new sponsor, Strong Body Nutrition here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. They were a sponsor of mine for a while, and in recent talks decided to sponsor our podcast as well. So we actually don't talk much about, I don't think we talk any about Strong Body in this episode, but we talk about them in the next episode. I go in depth a little bit about that. So be on the lookout for that. And if you would like, subscribe, share, and leave us a review if you are compelled to do so. We would really appreciate it, good or bad. We love the feedback. Always trying to get better at this stuff, and we just, have a ton of fun doing it. Any guest suggestions, any suggestions about subject matter, anything, just for you guys to connect with us, we would love it. And as always, thanks for listening. See you guys. There it go.
There we go. And so you already heard the Little Wrist Big Fit.
So you already know we're in here.
Yes.
Back in action, boy.
So
and,
yeah.
Go ahead. What's up?
Yeah, we
What's
have
up,
we have a friend from Atlanta, Georgia, here with us today.
Yeah.
Originally, right?
Originally, yeah.
Born and raised.
But Drake, welcome to the podcast.
Dude, glad to be here.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, this
Of
is
course,
gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Very.
I always love talking to, artists and songwriters around here and just finding out like where all that came from. You
And
know
how
what I mean?
weird they are, because you all
everybody's
are
weird.
as shit.
Yeah, they are.
But it's cool. We love you guys.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna dare to say it. Songwriting's what makes the world go round.
We'll talk about it.
I think
we'll talk about it.
Maybe someone else has
Said that?
That sounds-
Maybe, but I think it does. I don't know. I think it's one of the main drivers of culture.
Yeah.
Like, just, right, like...
I mean, music as a whole, but, like...
Yeah.
Music's on the back of, like, songwriters, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, music
Yeah.
is a universal language.
And composers. And
But...
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, songwriting isn't just, like, the lyrics. Like, you gotta think about all the people who... like composers.
Like
we have a different name for it, but they're
musically
songwriters. They just didn't put words
yeah.
Yep.
to their, you know what I mean? Like that's always been a part of culture because it was like their way of adapting something they saw to
Mhm.
music.
Yep,
You
and
know?
like putting it in different terms, like
Yeah.
giving someone a different perspective on it.
And I heard a like a singer songwriter type artist who was talking about, or she also like shredded on guitar too,
Mhm.
and she was talking about like how there's the lyric, which is like obviously the main focus of the song, but she was saying how in every instrument on that track you can express a lyric feeling from
Ooh,
just music.
I like that. Do you
A
remember who
musical-
said that?
I don't.
Yeah, I mean it's
That's
like
interesting though.
it's like instrumental artists, how like they'll call a section a verse.
Oh yeah.
You know, but there'll be no
Yeah.
words. It'll just be like, oh, this is gonna repeat like it's a
Yeah.
verse, and then we have, it's really interesting how
And then
and they'll name it. It's like, how do you get a name without lyrics? But it's like what they.
What's it feel
they-
like?
That's like me
Yeah.
making beats, dude. I always
Yeah.
got like the ones that I like. I would come
Yeah.
up with a name for them, and it was always like whatever feeling it invoked for me. That's how I always.
I mean, that's composing too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
And
in
like
the
also like
modern
off the
age.
back of like what you said with being able to express with instruments on different tracks.
Yeah.
It's like with songwriting you have to find a way to fit it in. You can't just say something super plain because it's boring.
Yeah.
And you also can't be super extravagant with it. You have to find a way to fit your words in to the melody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So same way with the instruments. So like if you're playing a guitar riff or just you're playing like a drum section, you can't. It's got to repeat in a certain way, but it also you can throw those little styles and expressions in with it, just like with songwriting. Like you sprinkle little things in there
Yeah.
that like make you different and also make it fit versus like if you play keys you can like slay all day, like we get Greg Walton out here, he can fucking slay. But I mean that dude is
money. Yeah.
but for real, like he's not doing that the whole time. And I was actually telling Ashton about that the other night when I saw him play, because he plays with Wesley. And
yeah, he's great.
dude, he's so good. But the one thing that I don't like about seeing him play out, because I know how good he is that I don't feel like he gets enough time. And maybe it's because I've only seen, the only past 2 times I've seen him play is with Wesley. So maybe it's that style that it just doesn't call for it. But he doesn't get as much of a chance to express himself.
Yeah, that's I mean, I think it's more the style because so I've known Greg for a while. I'm like, he used to play with. Well, right now he plays with this band called 3 Star Revival.
Yeah.
good?
Dude, they're really good, and
I
like
didn't
he
know
gets
that.
to really let loose with their songs. It's
Nice.
kind of like funky, like jam.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
him.
That's
It's really
his
cool.
alley,
And
yeah.
then he used to be like in this like kind of pop blues band, like when I first met him,
Okay.
with like some people he knew from back in like Louisiana where he's from.
That's where he's from?
Yeah.
That's why he's got soul, boy.
Yeah, he's from.
Yeah.
Damn, son.
And
That's
like
real.
he played in like a pop blues band, like got to be like more like funky and stuff with that. But
Okay, so he does get a chance. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just
Awesome.
that style with Wesley. Like,
Okay.
you know, but how many pop country songs do you know have like a great keys solo?
Yeah, it's not.
You know,
But he does. He, I mean,
hey,
he
don't get
does.
me wrong,
Like,
man. Like,
not knocking
all
Wesley.
about
Like
it.
he
Yeah.
does let him solo. There's a song
Yeah.
where they all get down, but you know, it was
just
like,
overall
right.
with that kind of genre.
Right,
Like,
right.
you don't think of like modern like kind of pop country and like, oh yeah,
How mad is this gonna make people?
Mm.
Have
Oh.
you, it's like that.
How mad is that going to make your mic?
I don't know if I
Have
got
y'all-
on there.
This
No.
is something. Hey, like I just found out about this ASMR
Cheers, boys.
stuff.
Cheers. We all
What?
got. Oh yeah,
Are
the
y'all familiar
ASMR
with
stuff.
this?
Yes. Cheers. We got the bang train
What-
on here. You know.
What is it? What is it?
And I got
Are y'all
my
familiar with
outlaw
that?
energy drink.
ASMR. It's like sound. It's like for people that, like they love it.
Like this, like
Yeah, like him opening that. Like there'd be people who like go on YouTube and
What?
like they'll look
and
up.
it like invokes a feeling in their body.
What's it stand for?
Hey, look it up.
Google.
I will. I got
Hey,
you.
so like while he's doing that, like basically, they would get a really nice like condenser mic or something, and they would get right up on it and be like, and like making all this terrible, terrible noise.
like paper crinkling, or like opening a
licking
pack
their
of
lips,
gum.
like just
You know-
eating a. There's one lady, she like eats a pickle, like bites into a
Oh,
giant
I
pickle.
heard about her.
And dude, like
Bruh,
those
it's
noises like
not
stress
good.
me out. Like
It's
they do
not
not
good.
relax me.
They stress you out, do
They
they
give me
really?
so much anxiety.
Yeah, and it's funny because like I'm a musician. I'm used to having like loud noises like right in my ear, and it just, oh, hey.
Autonomous sensory meridian response.
So it's like your
is an
body's
experience
reaction to like
characterized by
sounds.
a static-like or tingling sensation on the skin that typically begins on the scalp and moves down the back of the neck, my back, and upper spine. It
You want to finish that one?
it has been compared with auditory tactile synesthesia and may overlap with frisson. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
wow, I read
remembered that
everything
word.
correctly.
You did. You know, I had high hopes for you, and I'm
Thanks,
so.
bro.
I'm so.
For those of y'all that don't
glad
know, I
the
can't
dictionary's
read,
paying off
boy.
for you.
I can't read nothing. What'd I say earlier? Creole? It's Creole seasoning.
Creole.
Is it
It's Creole.
Creole?
That's what I said.
That's how you say it?
Yeah,
Creole.
How do you say it? Creole.
Yeah.
Creole.
How do you say it?
Creole.
How you say eggs?
Yeah.
How you say eggs?
Eggs.
Not eggs.
Yeah.
It's eggs, bro.
I spell it with an E.
E.
That's how I spell it.
You spell it with an A.
And
You spell
in
it
school,
with an A and
actually
I.
now I spell it with an A.
Eggs.
You're right. But in school,
In school,
I spelled
they
it
were
with-
trying to teach you the correct version, and then when
listen,
you got out of
I went to
school,
public school in Kokomo. I didn't. All right. That's what my dad
But
always says. He's like, "You went to Kokomo." Like,
Yeah.
but yeah. So that ASMR thing is real. It's so real.
Yeah, and I just thought about that when you open the thing because there'll be like people and they.
Do you think there's anyone that listens to our podcast
They
that
get
like
into
got
it.
sensation through? So that reminds me of like getting.
I want to give everybody their.
Dude, if somebody,
their
yeah,
thing.
if somebody like listening to this,
Yeah, give us a shout
yeah,
out on Instagram.
please, dude, let us know. We'll provide more. Like I'll get a sample deck of just ASMR stuff,
Yeah.
and
We'll
then
do it.
Drake will stop listening to our podcast because
It'll
he'll
be
be
like
like,
the
"Bro,
one week, I'm like, oh yeah, dude, I didn't get around to it this week.
It just made him too stressful.
That's right. Dude, that's
Too
crazy.
stressed. I guess too stressful.
He's walking
That's
around with
not
his
a-
whole day ruined because we played ASMR stuff.
And I
on the
mean, if I
podcast.
had like earbuds in and it was like right there. Oh,
Bro,
my gosh.
that's one of the craziest parts about because I listen to most of the podcasts I listen to at work on like earbuds, and when people do like I listen
AirPods,
to Moose Pods,
Moose Pod.
and they have Christina P and Tom Segura have a podcast. Have you
Yeah.
listened to it called Your Mom's House?
I know. I haven't.
They
listened to
now
it.
have a fart mic.
Oh my.
Okay, so they have a mic and they put it in their crotch and fart, and it
Dude,
gets
what?
recorded, and it's just like they've been calling for it forever, and like their fans love it and shit. Like it's fucking hilarious. But I'm listening on earbuds, bro, and these motherfuckers are shitting their
checking his
pants.
pants.
I'm like,
Word.
bruh, like what
Is
happened?
age hit me that bad
And they're like
already?
walking around work.
His age hit me that bad. Yeah, dude, it's weird.
Oh, okay.
And then I've heard a couple of different. That's what I heard about the ASMR stuff is like from podcasts, and it was like this is
Yeah.
a thing. And then they played a couple of them. Like,
Yeah, dude, I just got introduced to it. Someone was like, I was hanging out with some friends and like they referenced it and I was like, what is that? Like I was like,
What you mean?
like I was out of
What
the
you
loop.
mean?
I was like out of the loop. They were like, what do you mean? It's ASMR. I'm like, okay,
Cool.
kind of cool.
Spell that out for me.
Yeah. But like, yeah. So then like I went down a deep YouTube rabbit hole of like
Oh, no.
figuring out what it was.
No, you
It
got
was-
lost, bro.
Yeah, and it's hard to find your way out.
It is.
In any YouTube hole, it is.
Yes, right.
That's not.
And you're like, wow, it has been 4 hours.
So is that something you do for fun often?
Not too often. I try not to because
You try to
I
stay
can
away from
really get sucked in. You know.
Yeah. I mean, an hour.
What's the
You
last
don't
YouTube
realize-
hole you got lost in aside from ASMR?
Ooh. Oh.
We all have to answer this.
Okay.
Okay.
I went down like a YouTube rabbit hole of like John Mayer interviews,
Okay.
Oh.
and then like
Nice.
you find like
That's a good hole.
it was a good hole until
Until what?
I'm glad I'm like saying I'm like it was a great hole.
That's a good
It was a great like rabbit hole to go down until it was like the video was like weirdest John Mayer interview answers, you know, and like
Yeah.
I'm like you know, and then it gets to the point where it's like then I watch like his hot ones, and then
Oh, that shit's. He
And
did
then-
hot ones.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know that
it's
started
great.
as like a hip hop only thing.
dude, it's great.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, it's great.
Yeah.
I love Post Malone's on there. Yeah.
Dude.
On the hot ones.
Okay.
It cracks me up,
His
dude.
face tats though.
Yeah.
Bruh, I'm over this face
Always
tat game.
tired, man.
I'm over this
But,
face tat game.
Dude, yes. And like, but I love Hot Ones. If you haven't watched Hot Ones, check it out.
It's great.
It's
Oh.
awesome.
But like, then you watch that, then it like says like, oh, you know, Post Malone's Hot Ones. Then you watch that, then it's like Post Malone covers Dwight Yoakam's 1,000 Miles from Nowhere. And then you
Really?
watch that, and then you're just like, Dwight Yoakam.
Did he really cover that?
Yeah, it's great.
It takes like a little piece
Oh,
of
yeah,
whatever.
And then it's like Dwight Yoakam yells at a fan, and then it's just like best concerts where.
Fan punches.
Yeah, like fan, and it's like I started with John Mayer interviews, and now it's like,
you guys are fucked up.
oh my god.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? None of this is recorded.
Nope, not a single bit of it.
Oh.
God damn. I fucked up, you guys. It's
Hey,
on the
that's because-
camera.
that's
It's on
because-
there.
That's because y'all were cocky when I got here. They were like, we've never been like totally set up.
You're right. You're right.
God damn it. That made me sweat immediately. All right.
Dang.
But it doesn't. This is the thing. It is on that. So
But is the audio
I'll try to pull. Yeah. Actually, yeah. Surprisingly.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm gonna pull that audio from it, and I'm gonna splice it in just because.
Okay. Yeah, that was a good 12
So
minutes.
at least we got a backup.
Yeah.
So-
Just like some random
Sorry
like
if
B-roll.
you're. Yeah. Yeah. So I fucked that up, but I'm still gonna put it on the like I'll upload it into Pro Tools, so it'll be on the audio too.
Cool.
It'll just like convert over, so that's why the audio quality just got entirely better.
Oh,
'Cause I was like looking because it got kind of loud because we were talking, and I was just making sure we weren't peaking. I was just looking at the meters, and I was like, oh shit. Cool. So
now we got that figured out.
now you can hear the samples, because I don't think you can even hear the samples because maybe like slightly off that, but oh well.
Dang.
Sorry, dudes.
Well, hey, if you're into ASMR, then you probably
Oh, you missed it.
you probably
Dang
missed our
it.
whole shebang.
You missed our rant about
You wouldn't
that.
have enjoyed it because we were really on the mics.
We were in a hole.
I've been in a lot of
Okay,
holes.
so last
rabbit hole
YouTube
you
hole
in now.
you've been in, Dustin.
Okay. Honestly, it was probably this does feel a lot better with the audio quality.
What do you mean? It shouldn't sound any different. It's not run through. You shouldn't hear it from Pro Tools. You should only hear it from the Sapphire.
Oh.
From the
Well,
audio
I just feel
interface.
like maybe it's just because I stopped talking.
It's in your mind.
It's
cuz.
yeah.
It's all in your
Yeah.
mind, bruh.
So what was the last hole I went down? I went down.
It just sounds fucked up.
It does.
Can we say it as much as possible?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude, I am. Yeah, go ahead.
I
Just
would
wanted to talk
honestly
about
probably
holes.
like a gaming hole, like just watching some
Some gameplay.
gameplay. Yeah.
Does drink turn my mouth red?
No. What
All right.
games?
No.
What kind of games? Like, who you watching?
I'm watching. I don't
Fork knife.
Fork Knife.
Great
Yeah.
Heard
game.
about fork knife?
Yeah, great game.
Yeah, I watched this dude get like I don't know, maybe I think it was like 50 something kills in one game, and my mind was just blown away.
That's nuts.
In
I'm lucky to
Fortnite?
get like one kill.
In the free file
Same.
deal.
Yeah. And Battle
What's it called?
Royale.
Yeah, that's right. I don't play. You can
Yeah.
tell I don't play.
Yeah.
In
But
the free for all.
gaming holes they're a little different than like, music holes or like interview holes.
It's a lot of holes.
It's just you just keep diving into just games.
Yeah, you're gonna. Be
And they're
on
like
the
longer
game.
videos because it's like gameplay, and
Do you
like
guys-
most
are you
games take
guys
like 20
signed in-
minutes.
Yeah.
like 30 minutes.
Excuse me. Are you guys signed in on YouTube when you search for videos?
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think.
Do you notice a difference in your suggestions?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Because mine are
Yeah.
always tailored to like the pages I follow. There's like one or two related to the video, and then they're all tailored to like they're all like recommended for you videos.
Yeah.
Rather than like similar to videos.
Oh yeah.
You
Like
know what I'm
I like
saying?
yeah. Like I have an account because like I post some
Yeah.
of my stuff. So like
Do
whenever
you
I'm
follow
watching,
a lot of channels and stuff though?
I'm only subscribed on that account to maybe like 10
okay.
channels that I really like Reverb and like other music pages.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it'll suggest like stuff that's not music because like I'll watch like food stuff, travel. Like I'll
Yeah.
watch a little bit of everything because
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
so like it's not all music, but like I'll notice if I'm watching a lot of one thing, that's like all it will suggest me to watch, and it's like dang, that like takes away all the like desire to want to like look something up. If I'm like, oh hey, I watched something like that. Like
Yeah.
they want it. They want you to be lazy.
Dude, it's
I love it.
Yeah, they do.
I love
so
it.
Bad. YouTube's that hole, bruh.
I would love to see how many hours total are spent on YouTube a
day.
year.
A day.
A day, yeah, a day
That would
even.
be a
Well, no, it'd be cool if they showed like your personal stats.
I
Like
don't
if you had
wanna
an
know my
account, like
personal
how many
stats.
hours of YouTube did you watch like this year, or like this? What if they gave you like a weekly update? That'd
But
be miserable.
on iPhones they have
you
the
get yourself
new
in check. I tell you what.
Yeah, they have that thing right.
the
and
screen. It's like the screen time thing, and it like does show you how long you have like,
Mine's was
YouTube.
up
And
2 hours last week.
yours was up 2
Bruh.
hours.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, like
I've
when
been
I
posting more the past week though, so maybe that's why.
yeah, like when I get it and
I'm
it's
checking it
it's
more.
like your average time a day is only like an hour. I was like, man, this was a great week, man.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then the next week, like you spent like an average of like 5.5 hours a day on your phone. And I was like, oh man, wow.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm like,
what have
that's
I
where my
been
life
doing?
went. I was like, dude, like I was wondering why I didn't
No
have time
wonder-
to do this last week.
No wonder I didn't get shit done.
That's
last week.
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, I like how it breaks it down though. It's pretty cool. And then like,
Yeah,
if you have
Do y'all
it-
use that
if you-
downtime thing?
I don't
I-
personally. I
isn't
want
that-
to start.
Like where like it'll turn like your apps off and like you have to like unlock them.
Is that built in the phone?
It's
No.
built in with the screen time thing.
Yeah, it's
Uh-uh.
built in with the
I haven't
screen.
used it.
I do it like at midnight, except on like weekends when I have gigs because I need my phone if I want to look up.
Right.
But yeah,
I
like
used to
it's
do-
great because yes, you can just go and put your password in and like get on them. But it
you
does
know.
it kind of deters you because you're like, man, I can't just. I'd have to go through this process of like.
Yeah.
It is a
And that
deterrent.
also makes you feel like.
And that's a start.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
and
makes you think about it.
Yeah,
Makes you
and
feel a
like
little
yeah, because
guilty.
you'll get to it and like you'll go to open an app and it'll be like, oh, put in your password to do it, and then you're like, damn, you're like, I don't want to do that. I
Yeah.
should just go
It's
to
too much
bed.
work.
You know what I
Especially if
mean?
you have a long password.
Yeah, like oh man, I
Those
should
are
just
for
go
the
to
birds,
bed.
though. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, they are.
Well, yeah, or like I'm like, I just like.
I should. Yeah.
I don't want
should
you to
just
think.
go
I don't
bed.
want to have to think about this. It's like 2 a.m. You know, I'll be like, oh, dude, I don't want to think about what is my password. You know,
Dude, that's about time I'm getting up anymore.
that or like, oh, dude, wait, isn't? I'll be like, isn't my password in my phone and that app is locked and I can't go look at what it. You know, it's like.
So you gotta
You know-
unlock your phone twice.
Yeah, so
essentially.
like you know, because like let's say you're trying to log in something, like what's my password for that thing, and then you have to like find where you were like this was, you know.
Mhm.
I'm like
Yeah.
that's way too much work, and I don't
Yeah.
have the capability to.
I used to before the screen time thing came out. I did a couple of different apps to like track it
Yeah.
to see just because I was interested in that and I heard about those apps. So I was like, man, I'm gonna try this out and see like how well this works. Then it does like just knowing that you have that like. And like I just noticed this today, but does it separate your app like the time that you spend on each app within the categories that you have it on your screen?
Okay, so it
Is that
does.
how it does that?
So it does. Wait, with the categories you have on your
So
screen.
like
what
I
do you mean?
have
you make
my
your folders.
Yeah, that's what I
No,
meant.
no. They have like generalized. They have generalized like subject matter. So obviously social media,
Okay.
like
Video.
video, different things like video games, they have those generalized categories that all of those apps fit underneath, which is like that's how you find them within the the app store. They just categorize those, and it'll show you how much time you spend on each of those, and it even breaks it down into like how many times you click that app that day, or how many times you click that app that
I
week.
haven't looked into it.
Dude, there is
a
lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff
That's
on that.
cool. That's sick.
And
I bet they
you
keep
can
adding
see
features to
it
too.
tracks your notifications, so you can see how many notifications you're getting from what apps each day.
And like it's cool.
I have all my shit turned off, all my notifications.
Yeah.
Like for like I only have the little red circle by the app turned on. That's the only thing I have turned on, except for Snapchat. It comes across and goes to my lock or my that's the only one that goes to my lock screen. But I had turned Instagram off and the emails off because it was just like up like full, like you post something and it'll be like somebody liked your shit and this is like it. Come on, and Facebook, bro.
Yeah, I agree with
For
like the wholesome
birds.
social media thing, but like I kind of like having my email pop up to where I can give a quick read just because.
You know what? I think I might have lied. I think I turned mine back on after you told me that you had yours on.
It's easier to
recently.
stay on top of your email if you do it that way, just because like if I'm not actively seeing stuff from my email, I'm not just gonna go.
That number's just growing and you're not even paying
Yeah,
attention.
and you're like refresh.
Yeah.
Okay, 57. Refresh.
I've been struggling for like the past 2 months to catch back ever since Christmas, dude. Like, well, I guess it's not 2 months. It's before Christmas. Thanksgiving, probably. Since Thanksgiving, like struggling on keeping up on my emails because I have too many email accounts.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I got an email today from Adobe, and they're doing a sale.
Yeah, my subscriptions. This is
Mine went up to $54 for all the apps, and I said and switched emails and took the new subscription for $29.99 a month for all the apps because as soon as I cancel my thing every time I need it.
I'm about to be hit with that too
or something. So
I need to call now.
Check your email. But if you've never canceled before, they will give you another 6 months to a year at a better rate because, especially if you still have the student discount, because they will. But you also had to put in a graduation date, and they hit me. They flex on me with that.
I didn't.
Everybody does. You forget about it, but you do have to put it in, and it's like it says you graduated to update the information and prove that you're still a student if you are. It's like, oh shit,
Doggone it.
Dang.
So. But yeah, they probably sent you an email too, though. Like,
well,
hey,
mine, the end of mine is like February 8th ish.
Yeah.
So yeah, I need to, but it's in my student email, and I don't check that.
I have mine set up through my app on my computer and my phone. You can add it. You can add an Outlook email.
But then you have to check your student email.
I know, but I don't get anything worthwhile except for my discounts. But now I can't use them. They have all the companies that flex on that. All of them. They don't do it.
That
They're
sucks.
like, dude, you ain't been in college for 7 years, dude. Get out of here.
Oh well.
I'll
make a call to Adobe soon and figure all that out. I'll build an Adobe.
What is an Adobe?
An Adobe is like a hut. Like,
Is it?
yeah, it's like made out of clay.
I didn't know that.
I think. Okay. Okay.
Can you fact check that one?
Yeah. Look up
What is it?
Can you fact check that? I got you.
I
bro.
didn't know it was a thing. I thought it was like a word they made up.
Oh,
You went to their website.
They stole the word from the English dictionary.
Adobe.
Actually, I don't
Definition.
think it's in English.
Oh, a kind of clay. It's a kind of clay used
clay.
as a building material, typically in the
Huh.
form
Wow.
of sun-dried
Did you look that
bricks.
up before?
No, I just remember. I remember I
Are
was
you
like,
Indian or Native American? That was rude. That was
brr.
rude.
I
I mean, it's applies.
I do have.
Come on, that applies.
I do have like relatives who were like my great grandmother. My great grandmother was Cherokee.
See,
What?
I was right.
But like Native American, yeah. But no, I remember in 7th grade, like in like geography or something, there's like this video we watched, and I've retained like really weird information, so like that's just something that's always kind of stuck with me.
You got a photogenic memory, dude.
Yeah, I guess you could put it that way. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what to say.
That's why we have the sample deck. It really helps.
But yeah, I guess that's it.
That's interesting. You learn something new every day.
Every day, bro. You
I
gotta
want to
keep
learn
at
what you
it.
had for dinner. What'd you have for dinner?
Slim chickens.
Slim chickens.
Oh boy,
Just
that
the
slimmy
tenders.
chicken.
Just the tenders. I don't mess with the meal. Like, I don't want that.
Bruh.
I just want the chicken.
Their
dude.
fries are good though.
Their fries are good, but like the biggest
Dude, you
plate
ever
they
had
have
their
is
ice
like
cream.
no. The biggest plate they have is like 5 tenders and fries. But like, I don't want the fries. I just want the tenders. Like, I want more. But
I mean, I feel you, but
So
I
I just-
can't. 5 tenders is enough to piss me off.
dude, I don't know, man. I'm big boy. Gotta eat.
That's what I'm saying. You know, I'd have to have more than 5 tenders.
How big are the tenders?
I don't know.
Like normal size.
Like an average. Like
They
they're not.
ain't-
Average tender.
They ain't no.
They're better than Zaxby. Like the better size than Zaxby's.
Okay.
Don't flex on Zaxby's in front of Dusty.
I mean, I like Zaxby.
Did we have that conversation on this last podcast?
You really like Zaxby's? Or like you
Bruh,
kinda
he likes
like it?
Zaxby's more than Chick-fil-A. Let's talk about it.
I just
Okay,
I don't.
okay.
I don't. Yeah, I don't go to.
Okay.
Okay,
Chick-fil-A.
I'm from Georgia, so I'm really biased.
Yeah.
But Chick-fil-A is
The best.
the
fast
best.
food.
I don't care. Like, seriously, like everything. The quality of the food, the
The
choices.
service.
The service is great. Like, I've never been.
I would agree with
Dude,
that.
and I've been to
yeah.
like some like nicer like sit down like
My pleasure.
restaurants, all that kind of stuff, and I've never had somebody ask if they could refresh my beverage, except for at a Chick-fil-A. Like somebody's like, "Can I refresh your beverage?" And I was like, "What?"
Absolutely.
I was
you
like, "Of
can.
course you can." Like, I don't even want any more, but yes, please. You know?
I want one to go now.
But I don't know. Like Chick-fil-A, great breakfast.
I've never had their
I
breakfast.
get that number.
Oh, that's why
7.
you don't like it,
I know. I eat it too much. I know what number I like.
dude.
7.
Everything like just they don't have anything bad on their menu, and like even when they tried to go like
What do
really,
you get for breakfast? You
Just-
get them chicken mini boys, don't you?
just depends. Alternate. If I'll do chicken minis for a while, then when I'm feeling a little tired of those, I'll just go classic biscuit.
Have you had that bagel though?
No,
I'm all about the classic biscuit.
the classic.
It's like
dude,
an everything bagel.
their
with
chicken biscuits great. Like you don't it doesn't need anything on it. Sometimes I'm weird. All right, here's the weird thing I do.
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
put the Polynesian sauce on like my chicken biscuit.
That's
that,
not weird.
That doesn't sound
Like in
too
the
weird.
morning. Dude,
Not
it's
weird.
so
I mean,
good.
I think it's a little early for that sauce.
But it's kind of like sweet. It's kind of like almost putting like a
Do you
jelly
put,
on
have you
a
ever put
biscuit.
honey on it?
No.
Boy,
That would be good.
Boy,
Dude,
that's what
but
I put
Chick-
on my bagel sandwich.
What's
Within-
the new sauce that
Honey roasted barbecue.
Yeah.
Have you had it?
Yeah, it's basically like it's like Chick-fil-A sauce but with more honey.
that might be I don't know.
It's not as
Mustardy.
it's not as smoked tasting. In my opinion, Chick-fil-A has too much smoke flavor in it.
You think?
And yeah, just for me, I don't like it, but I also got ruined on sauce as a kid because I played this stupid game. I'll never forget I played this stupid game with somebody that was supposed to be watching me, let's be completely honest. And the whole thing was something about something, and if you lose, I don't know how you lost. I forget that part of the game. You mix like 3 things together in the fridge, and you had to eat it.
Ooh.
And somebody made me a sauce, and it ruined me on smoke flavor forever. And sometimes
Dang.
certain sauces remind me of it, and I was like,
Okay.
you know, like can't do it. Sorry.
What do you know what they mixed?
It was a barbecue and something else,
Barbecue
and probably like lemon juice and like
Ooh.
probably like old milk or something. Like gave me that chunky barbs, and I wasn't having it. I was not having it.
I remember
boy.
the first time I had chunky milk on accident, dude.
I have never had it.
Dude, it's a mistake, dude, because you don't know. Like it was like the
Did
day.
you try to drink it out of the carton?
No, like it just like I was
That
just
would have been the funniest.
no, dude. But like it was like the day that it was like gonna go bad. So like I didn't think. I'm like, oh, it's fine. Like today, it's fine,
I always smell milk.
dude. Well, yeah. After that,
always smell milk, just in general.
Yeah,
or like
dude.
when it comes.
Pretty much.
all
dude,
day?
after that, I always smell milk, and now I don't even drink
Shoved up my
milk.
nose.
Like now, I just stopped drinking it. I'm too scared now.
Completely ruined you on it. Do you drink almond milk?
Sometimes
Dude,
I
that's
used to be a
my-
really
that's my
big.
new shit.
I used to be a really big milk drinker, but anyways, back to my rant because like I gotta make my case on Chick-fil-A.
Oh, he's still
I'm
mad
still
about
mad about
it. See,
it.
that's how I felt when he first told me.
Dude, I'm telling you. Okay, also, maybe it's just because I'm from where they're from, but like
Is
honestly,
that where Chick-fil-A's from?
Georgia, yeah,
Okay.
by far
You can't just say this whole state. Like, is it from Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say. You can't claim
Honestly, it might be from like Milledgeville, or like Macon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can look it
Let's
up.
look.
I don't know.
I was actually in Macon.
I don't know exactly. Dude, there's
couple
nothing.
days
The
ago.
only thing that's cool about Macon is Jason Aldean's from there.
Oh, is he really from
Yeah.
there? Huh.
Like that area. But anyways, they have like some of the best sweet tea. Downside is, where is it? College Park. That's like outside Atlanta.
College Park.
Yeah,
That's what all the
Atlanta.
rappers used to say. Bubble Spot, College Park.
But
Dude,
dude, like,
they've been on the Chick-fil-A.
but downside about Chick-fil-A, like I always want it on Sundays.
Yeah.
Every Sunday, I'm like, dude, a Chick-fil-A biscuit would be great.
Nothing makes me more disappointed than going to Chick-fil-A and pulling up and realizing it's Sunday.
Nothing
I've
makes
done
me
it
more
so
mad
many times.
than a town like Murfreesboro that has one Chick-fil-A. There's more.
Boy.
I know there's more.
I was
but-
going to say, wait a
but
second.
remember when there was one for like the longest
Yeah,
time?
and then but you know why that is, right? Have you heard about that?
There's
So,
a
like,
limited number of franchises that a certain person can own within a certain bound.
It has to.
Really?
The
Yeah.
only reason that they can put like 2 in a town or 2 relatively close is if the population's big enough and the business calls for it. They have to get approval.
Yeah,
Dang.
it's a long process. Chick-fil-A is really on there, because there's some franchises that'd be like, oh, you could franchise all over, like
Yeah, like McDern's.
like
Subway.
McDonald's, yeah.
Subway. They let anybody start Subway, dude.
Yeah.
They let
If you got the
Jared-
capital,
they let
they're
Jared,
about
They're
it.
gonna let anybody. I mean, you heard about him. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Oh no.
I don't think it was the Subway that helped him lose weight.
No.
Facts. But everybody needs a poster boy,
No cap.
Yeah,
know
so
what I'm
they
saying?
picked him.
The worst
I mean,
candidate.
I guess. And
I'm
in
kidding.
Subway's whole defense, I mean, they didn't probably know before. Probably.
No.
I say it with confidence.
They thought they did their research.
They thought he was a good guy, but those glasses, dude. Those big
Those
pants
glasses tell you all.
and the
They
big
tell
pants.
you everything. You can't let a fat man lose all that weight and then expect him not to be
Little
a
man, big
freak.
pants, dude. That's gonna be my podcast.
Dude, that's awesome, dude.
Little man, big pants.
When are you
dude.
starting a podcast? Are you gonna
Right-
start? Have you thought
right-
about it?
Right now,
Have you
dude.
thought
I
about
actually
it?
have
Right,
because
this is now
Dude, I'll
a
help
little
you with
man,
the
big pants
logistics of
episode.
it if you want
dude,
to.
I've thought about it because, dude, it's kind of cool. So, anytime like we go on tour, like we go out on the road, like we drive. I drive everywhere,
Dude, do one
And-
while you drive.
and we've thought about it
should have
'cause-
done that. I still
because,
regret not doing
dude.
that.
Well,
Yeah.
like the closest place that we realistically play that's like a driving out of town is like Atlanta. That's like the closest town we play in.
yeah.
Maybe Knoxville. That's like 3
You're
hours.
usually in Nashville, right?
I usually am like in and around Nashville, but like if we travel outside, like it's not like we're just going like an hour away somewhere.
Who
Like
do you
we
usually
go
travel with?
people wise,
Yeah.
Trey Binkley, which is
Oh,
really
God
fun.
bless, dude. That would be the
Which is
best.
It's awesome. Trey
He's
and
so entertaining.
I've had different bass players over like the years, like just different people.
Why
like
are the bassists
always-
always roamers?
always. Well,
Everybody needs a bass.
I had my
Everybody
first
needs it.
band like growing up.
and there's also a lot of them.
I had
Yeah.
like a regular bassist, but like he was much younger. So when I
Okay.
came to college, I had to find new people. So it's been like different people. But then the drummer is always the guy who drummed in my high school band. He moved up here, went to MTSU.
Oh,
No
yeah.
shit.
Thomas Haswell, if y'all ever knew him.
I don't know if I did it.
He was music biz.
Didn't Lucas play with you the last show I saw? Probably for the ease of the show. Did he
At
play
Sweet-
with you
at,
guys?
Springwater?
No, Kyle played with
Kyle
you guys.
played with me.
That's
Kyle's
who
gone
played
with us
you.
before. So like, since we're in the car, I'm like, dude, like I don't really want to listen to like our set list that we're gonna play because like I don't want to get burnt out on those songs.
Right.
And like I want to
And you
jam
play
a
'em
little
so
bit.
much that you know.
Yeah, and like I mean, I want to jam in the car and just like enjoy the music, but like I don't get a lot of time to just sit down like with my bandmates and like talk.
Yeah.
Because almost every time we're together, it's just like practice and making music.
Yeah. So
And
there's
so, like-
bullshitting in between, but there's not
Yeah,
like extensive
but like, dude,
conversation. Dude,
yeah,
that'd
but
be
like we'll in the
fun.
car
And you can do
and
that with a Zoom recorder.
yeah, and we have like serious conversations like about like we'll talk
Anything
about
under the sun,
religion.
probably.
And you don't have to use anything
Politics, like-
extravagant either. You can
No,
use
dude.
If you guys, especially if you guys already take mics with you, I don't know if you do. A lot of people
Yeah.
do.
I no, I don't
you
like
can
I don't
use,
like using
like-
other venues mics, dude. I don't know what people have.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
huge.
not-
And also, they smell like butt cheeks.
And some of them have like bar tar on them, especially if you play in a really, really
Oh,
like crappy,
yeah.
shitty, dirty bar.
Can you think of what the
Dang.
inside of the mic looks like then? Dude, trashed.
I don't want to think about it, dude.
Trashed. Like, next time you go to a gig, smell the mic. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't think I'll ever
Go
do
ahead.
that. No.
I've caught a whiff of a bad one before.
Yeah, dude.
It's
That's why I just bring my
filthy.
own. I have like a when
could
I
do
go
it
on the
with
road, I
58
do a 58 that's just beaten to crap, dude. I've dropped it. Everything.
You could do your podcast with that though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Dude, mount that bitch to the dash with one of these deals. That'd be so fun.
Well, then, and just like do it in the car, and like we could put up a GoPro.
Yep.
Yeah, I've thought about it, but like I don't want to have it as like regular, because like that for me that would be like something I'd really have to dedicate time to. But just like have a thing that's just like car sessions, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Well, I mean, or
just like get people and like go drive around with them.
Do like the newer Zoom recorders. Well, not even the newer ones, but they have like the XY pattern mic on them, and put that up, and just put it up. Like figure out a way to mount that and just
just get one of those like phone holders and put it in there.
There you go.
Because aren't they only like that big?
Yeah.
Keep hitting that.
You're good. And you can just put that up, and maybe for the ease of use, like, you know, that might work. I don't know. I'd enjoy like sitting and help you plan that out if you wanted to.
Dude, yeah, because like I mean, if it like if people started listening to it and like wanted more, like I could just be like, hey man, like do you just want to go drive around for like a couple hours and just like go find somewhere and like go drive some back roads and be like, oh dude, this is cool, whatever, and record.
Yep.
Just talking, like it would be cool. I have thought about it.
It's
but
also like I don't know. Like Dusty probably agrees with me on that. I know you do. I talked about this in the last intro that I did when you were gone.
Mm-hmm.
But like, even if people didn't listen to the podcast, don't get me wrong, I appreciate everybody that listens to the podcast.
Yeah, of course.
I really do.
Of course.
But we've gotten to the points where we like doing it so much that we just like to
do it. Well,
like,
I mean, it's cool.
we
It's
do
like a time
podcasts
you
by
get to sit
ourselves
down and
sometimes.
just like talk to somebody.
And you have to. Like, you're not doing anything. Like, if you start dicking with your phone, me and Dusty are both going to be looking at you like, what are you doing?
Yeah, dude.
Like, and it's just like, and you don't, like, it's just not a time. You got the headphones on. You're in the zone, bro.
And
yeah.
I don't even know where my phone is at this point, to be honest with you.
There you go. That's what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just, I don't like people like that. I feel like you need to be present wherever you are.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
yeah,
how I
it's such.
Dude, it makes people love it. Like when you show people that you're interested, like you are taking time to give them attention, like they really like it, and that you don't get the acknowledgement, but like you notice people like, man, like, that guy was so cool. Like, oh, he was, so, you know.
And just like you were saying about Red, like before the podcast started, like you get to learn a lot more in depth about somebody, and like there's also stupid conversations that we have in between, like about Chick-fil-A. Like we haven't even broke into talking about your music yet, and we've already been going for 37 minutes.
Like,
Like,
that's okay. There's not a whole lot to talk about, so
don't
worry about it.
Oh, that's funny. But actually, I mean, I guess that would be a good time to ask you, like, when did you start playing music?
So the cliche answer is like I've been doing music literally my whole life. But
that's also going to be cliche around here.
That's
like,
cliche around. Oh, dude, I've been doing it my whole life. Yeah. But realistically, like, long story. I'm gonna hit this a lot. I'm gonna move it. I talk with my hands like way too much. So, anyways, when I was a kid, my sister took piano lessons.
Okay.
For like after she was taking them for like 6 months, I was like, oh, that's so cool. But I was like 4.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, and like my parents were like, oh, I don't know, and like they asked this teacher that she was with, and they were like, oh, well, I don't teach anybody that can't read, and they were like, well, like I mean, he can read, and like he's not stupid.
He's not illiterate.
Like he's 4, but like he can read. They were like, he can read. Like, give him something. And so like she just like put like a couple like pages in front of me with like some simple like exercises like piano, and she's like, can you read what these are telling you to do? And I was like, yeah, like.
Did you know anything about where to put your hands?
No, I knew nothing about music. Like,
was or
no, like when I was a kid, my grandmother had a piano, which is actually the one that's in my house now.
That's
pretty
awesome.
cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty
but
cool.
Is that the? No.
What?
I got confused for a second.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Yeah.
It's and like when I was a kid, like little kid, my mom has some pictures of me just like sitting there, like, because I saw my granddad would like play it.
Yeah.
But like
Just,
he
like,
wasn't
tooling
much of a
around.
player, but like I would just hit it and I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
But my sister took lessons, so when I was like 4.5, I took my first piano lesson.
That's awesome.
Damn, son.
And I took like classical lessons for like 5 years.
After that,
You any
Yeah,
good
like
still?
starting there, huh?
You any good at
Wow.
keys? Still?
Not like I used to. Like if I get back into playing them, like I can pick up in like 2 days.
Right.
Like in 2 or 3 days, I'm back
The
to like
muscle memory
I'm
comes
there.
back.
I'm like, okay, here's what I and I
Yeah.
know my scales, and like I can. I've gigged on keys like a handful of times,
Mhm.
but like I have to like get.
You have to
It's not like
practice the
guitar where
songs
I can
real
just
well.
kinda go
Yeah.
like, hey, I know.
what's
what
it
I'm
like
doing.
gigging with keys?
For
Is it-
me, it's
yeah.
way more fun because I write my own songs on guitar and
Yeah.
I play them on guitar, so like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like I know, oh, this is how
Kinda
I
like
play this song.
second nature to you.
When I get on keys, I'm like, what? Like what can I do? Because like I didn't write this song on keys, so I like write a keys part.
Oh,
Especially if
shit,
it's like
that's
original
cool.
stuff. Like I'm like, oh, dude, like what should I play if I'm not gonna be playing guitar? So I get to write some like.
Okay,
It's a
that's
little
cool.
more creative.
Yeah, it's
for
like
you.
it's like almost like rewriting the song. Like, oh, I
The
already have the
challenge.
chords and the lyrics. I just have to write how I want to play it.
Yeah.
And like doing organ and like a Rhodes and doing like clav and
Yeah, and you also get different sounds.
Sounds, yeah.
that's-
it's really and like a lot of people don't know that I can play keys because like it's not my main thing,
Right.
You know, but like it's fun when I do it because like I can take solos and stuff.
Okay.
And when I play guitar, I never
This
take.
man,
I never take
he
solos.
Can play still. He slays
no.
still.
So
Come on,
when
bro.
when did you first pick up a guitar?
So I got my first guitar like the Christmas, like before I turned like 9.
Okay, so like
That's cool as shit.
so you'd been taking
I took piano lessons
classical lessons
all the way
up-
until
okay.
then, like book by book, like all the notes, like playing very
Yeah.
like like I didn't know how to play any like.
Did you enjoy it as a kid? I mean, obviously you did it for a while, so you had to enjoy it a little bit. But like, doesn't it get kind of old to you?
Yeah, so like I enjoyed
That's
it
how I got
because
burnt out on classical.
I love music, like, and I
Yeah.
loved like playing piano, but like I was like, man, like I'm never gonna like go and like stand in front of people and play like Mozart and Beethoven.
Right.
That's
and stuff.
exactly
You know what I
how
mean?
I felt.
Like, cause I would ask my teacher, like, oh, I heard this. Like, I grew up on classic rock,
so you wanted to play that.
like I'm gonna
that
use a
stuff.
very basic example that like anybody can relate to. I would hear "Don't Stop Believing" and I would be like, oh, how do I play that piano part at the beginning?
Dude, that's exactly how I took piano lessons.
You know what
from-
I'm-
But I took it from since I was.
That's
like,
how I wanted to
I was
learn.
like
I wanted them to show me like
tw-
what.
Yeah.
I was like
other
18
people are
when I
doing.
first took them. So, but that's how I went in from the jump. Like I was like, I need to learn like how. Like, can you teach me Panic at the Disco? Like,
Yeah, and like I wanted to learn that, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that'd be so cool because if they could like show me what it was and like, oh, it's in this key,
Mhm.
and I'm like, oh, okay, like I can play that. Like I'm grasped like music that
Yeah.
oh, these notes work in this key, and like that
Yeah.
seemed like a pretty normal concept.
Okay.
So like I went after those like first 4 or 5 years of classical, I was like, I told my parents like I don't want to take lessons like this anymore. Like either I don't want to
So
take
you
them.
understood the fact that it wasn't that you didn't like to play piano or take lessons.
Yeah,
you
I knew
just
it was
didn't
this- I
like
knew it
the
was this
of
type.
music. Gotcha.
And I told him, I was like, hey, like, I either want to get a guitar and start taking guitar lessons with like somebody else.
Isn't it funny that it's not like? Yeah, it's not like that with guitar.
Yeah, like you
I
don't.
never thought about.
No,
that.
like I don't. I know a couple people who took like traditional guitar lessons and then like taught
It's not
themselves,
common.
but it's not common. Most people who take guitar lessons, they teach them like chords and songs.
And
Yeah,
rock, like
yeah.
Yeah, like
pop
it's not
songs.
like, oh, hey, here's some sheet music, play these scales. Like they're like, oh, hey, there's this website called ultimateguitar.com.
Yeah.
You go look up tabs, dude. You know, like
yeah, and then
to
they
all your
correct your
favorite
form
songs.
and tell you different techniques
yeah.
and stuff. But that's
and they're
about
like
what
this.
guitar
They're like,
lessons are
hey,
probably.
as long as you know G and C and D, here's this thing called a capo, and like you can just play G and C and whatever and change the key. And I was like, dude,
Oh, I till just now didn't know how that worked.
yeah.
So
Like, is a capo?
sweet.
A capo is just like clipping on a fret to like essentially move the
Move the scale.
Yeah.
you know, like
Gotcha.
move the whatever,
Essentially
the
changing
nut
the
of-
key.
yeah, like
Okay.
changing where your
Yeah.
open strings are, and so it's like they're like, yeah, if you can just play basic chords, like that's how I learned all my first songs. Was just like
Yeah,
making
son.
everything in G, like G, C, D, like pretty easy chords, and like moving a capo.
Okay.
But I started doing that at like 9 and a half.
Acoustic.
It's weird how
My
the
first guitar was an
works.
electric guitar because like I was 9. I had little hands still,
Okay.
so like I took
Those are easier on your hands.
yeah.
Right?
So like, and it was like a really like it was a small
Let
scale.
me see your hands now. Are they any?
They're like kind of small. It's kind of crazy that like I enjoy playing bass and I have like kind of small hands, but for a bass player, you know.
Okay.
But anyways, I started taking guitar lessons, and the teacher, I would just tell him like, oh, I want to learn this song, and he would like
Yeah.
look it up
He
and
would
teach.
show you?
Yeah, just like any song I wanted to learn, and like there would be a couple lessons where he'd be like, oh, hey, here's like a technique, or here's like teaching me a little bit more how to play it, but most of it was just here are these different chords, here's how you can play this song, like the record and how they do it, and so it was more like I was learning how to play through songs that I liked.
Yeah.
And then I did that
It's
for
way more fun that way.
it made me want to like practice and like excuse me, like
You're good.
I don't know, I wanted to sit in my room and be like, oh dude, that's a cool song, I wonder if I can like figure it out. And when the guy was like, oh yeah, just go to this website, I would like
Go to that
taking
website.
Lessons?
yeah, like I took lessons for like 4 years, but realistically like I could have stopped after like 2 because I learned like chords. And then I just started like doing YouTube. I would take like sporadic lessons here and there from like
Dude, YouTube's a shit.
somebody
for
who'd
learning
be like,
songs.
oh hey dude, like I can teach you more about like playing lead. Like I took lessons from like 2 different guys sporadically who taught me about like different like soloing scales. So not as much as like here are all these scales. It was like if you play this scale,
it'll fit. With
it'll
these
work
songs.
over this song, and like this kind of shape is this scale which works in this key and whatever. Like
Okay.
it was kind of a lot, but like they boiled it down to being really easy. Like, hey, if you do this and start on this note when the song's in this
And you learned
key,
that
it'll
on
always
YouTube?
work. I would learn that from like people, and then I would go and look it up on YouTube.
Okay.
And
Just
so
start playing music with people like locally.
yeah, so my first experience with like playing with other people was like I had one other friend early on who was like pretty good at guitar.
Yeah.
Start playing probably around the time you did. or
Yeah,
no?
and like we would just
And
like
this is in Atlanta, right?
this is like outside Atlanta, yeah,
Okay.
where I grew up. And he was kind of more into the singer-songwriter thing, and at the time like I didn't really understand that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
So you're like, bro, I'm just trying to play guitar.
yeah, I'm like I
and
just
you're
want to
trying
jam,
like,
dude. Like
play
yeah, I'm
normal
like, hey,
chords.
did you learn, any Zeppelin tunes or whatever? And he'd be like, no, dude, I wrote this song. And I was like,
And
dude,
you're
I don't
like,
want to
"That's
play your song.
whack." Like,
And he would like read me these lyrics, and I'd be like, dude, like that's not good. But honestly, like it probably was,
but you did.
but I didn't get it.
You weren't
Like this
into
dude was
that.
so, and he was my age, and he was like so ahead of his time.
Do you talk to him still?
Still, yeah.
Is he good? Does
he
still
doesn't play anymore.
Dude.
Oh.
Dude, it's crazy. He
Yeah,
actually
did that-
he started his own roofing company.
Really?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I mean, props to him though.
dude, crazy how it happened, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all switch roles. Well,
Kin-
not really, but
but
you
like
took his spot and he was
yeah,
just like, I'll
dude,
do
and
something
like
different.
I knew a couple other guys like
Did
cuz
you get inspiration from that?
dude, I really did. Like it was like looking back now I'm like, man, like that was so awesome, and like I still have like his first like little demo CD he made when we were like probably 12.
Dang.
Savage.
Like it was dude, and it's great. Like I've messaged him multiple times like, dude, I listen to this all the time. Like your songs are amazing.
That's cool shit.
And
did he just record it on his own with like a
yeah.
little recorder or something?
yeah.
Like a little field recorder?
Yeah,
Or did
like
he,
like
go
old
into
school
the
like
computer?
2000 and like
You weren't
9,
doing
10.
DAWs. Well, you
Not-
could have,
not-
but it wasn't like now. It's
No,
not
like,
intuitive like it is.
we didn't
now.
even know GarageBand yet.
Yeah.
You know, like I didn't know what that was. But I also grew up like in church. So I met some other guys through like playing.
Yeah.
I met a couple other guys. That's how I met my original band. Like
Cool.
that I started
Okay.
was through church people, cuz like I was like, wow, these guys can like listen
People
to a
that play
song
at
and they
church
can
are
like
good.
learn it.
Yeah.
I'm like that's what I need. So I'd be like, hey, I would like send them like, hey dude, we should jam. Can you learn these songs?
We should learn this together.
And they'd be like, yeah, dude, cool, okay. Because I had like a big house, like I had a space like in our basement that like my parents were like, hey, you can use this to play music with people.
And they were used to it already because y'all been playing music.
Yeah, 'cause, like,
Your
I would-
sister still playing stuff?
No,
Or
like
did she keep
no,
playing around this time?
she took lessons until like a little after I got a guitar, maybe a year after. But then like it just she can play and like read music, but she's not really a musician.
Gotcha.
Got
Like it's
you.
not natural for her.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like she was more like she was really like academic and like school was,
Okay.
and I was like more the creative one.
Gotcha.
Right.
You get all
but-
that juice, boy.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of interesting. Like we're very
He's
opposite.
like, I don't know what to do with all that juice.
I got the drip, man.
You got
The
that
drip.
drip,
Um,
boy.
Okay.
But but yeah, dude. So like I would just be like, hey man, like here, like at the time, all I listened to was like classic rock and like 2010 country radio.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'd be like, hey dude, learn Good Times, Bad Times by Zeppelin, but then also learn My Kind of Party by Jason Aldean, and we're gonna jam both of them and just learn them note for note. And it was awesome. And then I'd have these folks like come over
Yeah.
to my house and like I'd be like, yeah, hey, you.
Set up drums and everything.
We'd have a drum set, everything.
So were they
Amps.
your age or were
Yeah,
they...
everybody was my age. Like maybe like a year older or like a year or two younger. Like we were
Yeah.
all
So
around the
how
same
old are
age.
you at this time?
Right now I'm 22.
No.
Oh, I was like, right now I'm 22. At the time of all of this, I was like 12.
Oh,
That's
first-
awesome.
The first time I jammed
Yeah.
with like people my age, but honestly, we probably sucked. But at the time, I was like, I thought we were
mean,
great.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's just fun because you're like, this is a whole. New,
yeah, well, and like I was
whole
starting to
new
play with
world, like-
other people, and like I could just
That changes the whole...
yeah, well, I could like just learn the guitar part. Like I didn't have to like learn a version of it so that I could like play it and sing it. I could like learn
Yeah.
exactly what the guy did and like take a solo.
Yeah.
Because when you play by yourself, you're not gonna rip a solo by yourself.
It's not near as cool.
It's just
You have nothing else going on.
no, and people are like, "Hey, can you stop?"
Can you just
You
like
know.
play this song?
So that was like pretty early on. Like I'd only been playing for a couple years, and so like as it went on, like I had different people play with me from here, like time to time, and like
Yeah.
Did you play
Um,
shows or do we just playing?
yeah. So like my first, I didn't play like out in front of people like guitar and stuff like that. The first time I did that, I was maybe 14.
When you
Okay,
first
so like
played
2
out?
years later.
So like 2 years later, like I played. My dad owned a sports bar. Like that was like just something he decided to
Sweet.
do for a couple years. And like one day, he had live music every now and then. You know, it's just kind of like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's not most restaurants' main priority.
Right.
But I was just like, hey, like, can I play sometime? Like, can I come up? Like, just trying to be like, hey, Dad, can you
Yeah.
help me out?
You're
You
doing
know,
a
like,
solid.
yeah, do me a solid. Like, I
Trying
was
to
like,
get that
yeah, and I was,
drip,
and I
boy.
was just like, hey, you don't have to pay me, you know, like I'm your kid, so like you don't.
Yeah.
like, let
I
me-
just wanna play.
I'm like, just let me. Like, I know I can play like these 10 songs, you know, all the way through and sing them and play them. And I was like, if you just like, I'll just play for an hour. And like that's it. And he was like, okay, yeah, sure. So he went out and bought me like this tiny little
Amp.
speaker that like you could plug a guitar and a vocal in.
Nice.
And it was a vocal that was like XLR into the mic and then like 1/4 inch into the
Yup.
like one of those that's like a
Yup.
one piece
Yeah.
and a little stand and like that's it. And I just ran this really like crappy little simple setup. And
That's dope though.
dude, and like
That's
I
dope.
played
For 14, you felt like you were
dude,
Led
yeah,
Zeppelin,
dude, and like there are some of those songs that I still play at like every gig today.
really that
Yes.
you
That
wait.
none of these were originals.
Okay.
These were
That's
all
right, 'cause you weren't
covers.
writing.
No.
Okay.
These are all covers. Like they're 10 somewhat popular songs that I like learned.
The stuff that you like.
That's like,
But that's kind of what we were
it
talking
was
about
like-
earlier. Like
yeah.
you don't play just the super popular. Like
No.
what, don't they call it like the Nashville 40 list or something?
Yeah, like-
yeah,
like
pretty much.
which is for people that don't know like the basic songs. That
Yeah,
you're
like,
gonna
hey,
hear
if you're gonna
at
play in Nashville,
every
you should learn this
Nashville
song.
or every Nashville
know.
bar.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear that.
yeah, it's like, hey, like you need to learn Friends in Low Places. You need to learn Wagon Wheel. You need to learn
Gosh, wow. I get tired
Family
of that one.
Tradition
Yeah.
by Hank Jr.
There's what's that other one? The Jimmy Eat World song.
It just takes some time. little
the
girl,
middle.
In the middle.
Yeah, in the middle. But yeah.
So
That's
yeah.
So you weren't even learning that type like the popular stuff. Like
No,
that.
like,
you were. Learning,
I was playing literally songs that like I liked that I just maybe heard like on the radio in the car.
right.
Yeah.
So I'd play like
You're getting your drip, boy.
a butchered version of like Guns N' Roses, like a butchered version of like Guns N' Roses cover of Knocking on Heaven's Door. Like that's the kind of stuff I would play.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when did the songwriting come in?
I didn't write my first like completed song till I was like probably 16.
Okay.
And even then I don't.
You were trash.
Yeah, I was. Like it was really bad. And like honestly,
I'm just kidding.
I think that song I ended up taking the lyrics and like putting them to another song I wrote way later.
well, yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
that makes sense.
Like not all of them, but like I think
Parts.
And it's almost
yeah.
nostalgic for you too. Like that's a fun thing. So between 14 and 16, you're sitting there just playing with people that you know.
Yeah, and like
put
I
together
built
a little band.
and I built up like my repertoire. Like I went from playing like those 10 songs to being like, hey, I know like 15.
Did
like
you
these
play
10
your
plus
dad's
the new.
bar anymore, or did you play at other places around town,
so
or did you not do that yet? Really?
I played a couple other times.
Did you play for church?
I played at like the church, but like
Okay.
you know that would be like in the youth program, like in middle school and stuff, and
Yeah.
like you'd only play like 4 songs.
Yeah.
You know, and like they were like contemporary Christian stuff, so
Right,
it would
right,
just
right.
be like. And since I was like the younger guy, they'd usually have like an older guy who played lead, and they'd be like,
Right.
"Hey man, you should just play the rhythm," like just getting me. So
Greasing your gears.
yeah, just like, hey, here's
Yeah.
what it's like playing with the band, and like here's what it's like learning a part. Like you just learned your part.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, honestly, I look back on that and like I'm so grateful because that made me such a better like musician to play in a band with.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh hey, this is my part. Like this is just the part I play
Yeah.
to add to
You
the
know
song.
where to fit.
It's not
Yeah.
just like, hey, we should all play the same.
Just like building track, like building
Yes.
a song, like same deal.
Yeah, every
Yeah.
track, every part like has its purpose.
Yep.
In the song, so like it really helped me with that. And I did that all through high school. I mean, not just like even after I started writing stuff. Like I still did that through high school and like a little bit the summer before coming up to college. And once I got up to college, like I just never found a place up here that I wanted to like
Yeah.
get into. But I had that experience and like I wanted to meet people and like start a band and all that
Yeah.
fun stuff.
Did you go straight to MTSU?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
In
so
14, like the fall?
2015. I
Okay,
started in the
so-
fall of
okay.
2015. So like,
Okay.
I don't think I met you.
So did you
till-
graduate a semester early?
from college, yeah.
Okay.
Nice with your big brain, boy.
Yeah, I came in with like half a semester. Like I came in with like 8 hours of credit.
Okay.
So all I had to do from high school, from like AP stuff.
Nice.
'Cause
Well,
I
you
just took
was
like
smart, wasn't you?
not really.
Kinda
Like,
got-
I'm-
you
I'm
kinda
not-
got by. Were all your friends in AP classes?
Yeah,
Is that
because
kind of like a lot
yeah,
of the people that
be-
in my high school that were in AP classes were all friends, and like
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
if they couldn't power through, their friends would like help them.
well, yeah, it's because like when I was in like middle school, like I got put into like the like gifted classes.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah.
So those are the people I made friends with because they were
Yeah,
the people. But
absolutely.
like it wasn't in middle school. It's just different. It's like
You know what
you're like in
happened
the
for me?
gifted, the
I
like,
was
but
in,
it's not
uh,
really.
it's kind of weird though.
Because it's not really, you're learning the same thing everybody else is learning. It's just they
You're
kind of,
advanced.
they give you a little bit more information. But it's
Were
like
you-
the same.
Your guys' wasn't advanced a year, so like you were.
No,
taking,
so like in 8th grade of my like middle school, I was in like the gifted classes, but like they were just like gifted versions of whatever the
basically,
college
like,
prep.
more work.
It was just not more work. It would just be like, these people learn that.
You were taking a
si-
high school level class though, right?
Yeah,
That's
like
why you
these
got
people would
credits.
just learn like the Civil War was between, 1861 and 65, but you would learn about like every single battle and like they would go way more in detail, but it would be the same
okay.
overall topics.
Okay.
So like
Just
in middle
deeper
school, it was just
information.
like but those were all my friends. So then when I went into high school,
Right.
like I didn't.
It's natural.
Yeah, like I was like, oh, so
Yeah.
like I took all these like gifted and like classes
That-
because like those are the people I knew and like
That happened for me. I was in except I was in Catholic school, and they were always like a little more advanced. I
they
guess.
let you drink.
Bro, no,
Dang.
no. I
Down
mean,
to the
yeah,
net.
at church, you know what I'm saying? Like we turned up on that wine, boy. But
They didn't
gosh,
have
it
like
did not taste
the
great.
shot glasses. They had goblets.
Oh yeah, and trust me, everybody was trying to get a swig out of that thing too. You know what I'm saying? We were like, I want that bread. Like, let me get that swig of that bread.
I don't
wine.
need that bread.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like they were always advanced anyway. Like that's just how it was there.
Yeah.
So when I went into
It's
public
privatized.
school, yeah. So when I went into public school, like they naturally put me in an advanced class. I rode cool through middle school and had like high school credits, right? Then I got to high school and they put me in AP geometry.
And he is out.
Boy, them proofs had me fucked.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I was ruined.
Yeah.
And then high school, I was just a turd. Like I was just a butt munch
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
for
I got
me-
kicked out of those classes. I didn't necessarily get kicked out, but like I just it wasn't for me, dog.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me,
I ain't that
part of
smart.
it, like, part of doing that in high school was, like, I originally thought I was going to go to, like, UGA.
Yeah.
Or, somewhere where, I really needed, like, awesome
Yeah.
grades. Like, I couldn't just kind of skate by.
So
And, like,
even
that-
in high school, you didn't think you were gonna be a musician.
I just didn't really know. Like, I knew I liked playing music, and I
Did
knew
it seem real to you?
What?
being a musician
Not
as
not
a career?
not till I was like a senior.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
my first 3 years of high school, like I was like, dude, I'm gonna go to UGA, gonna live in Athens.
I mean, I
gonna,
feel like freshman
live
year
it
of
up.
high school, like you just finally learn how to use your legs and arms. Like,
Yeah, and like the same thing, like
I'm just
we-
saying,
we-
like it's like a little human that doesn't know.
yeah,
how to
like
be.
and like I hadn't really played a lot of gigs yet. Like I hadn't done the music thing, so like
Yeah.
early on in high school, I was like, man, like I like playing music, but like
you just thought it was a hobby,
yeah, because
Yeah.
I had like really had like
and all your homies, that's how they did it.
yeah, and like I didn't like none of my like close group of people, friends at the time played music.
Yeah.
Like now, all my close friends play because I've decided. Oh, hey, that's who I should become close friends with.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I think about it now.
Yeah.
At the time, you don't. You make friends with the people you're just like around, like my neighbors and stuff.
Yeah.
And like they all just wanted to like burn stuff in their backyard. And I was like, dude, we should like jam.
I did that.
I'm like, hey, we should jam sometime. And they're like, jam? No, dude. Like we should like go like throw rocks at a train and like pee on it, you know,
Put
like
pennies on the track.
yeah, you know what I mean. Like it's just so. That's what so that's how I graduated early. Like I just had some
Yeah.
credits because like I thought I was gonna like have to have way better grades, but it's kind of awesome because I got to jump into like the more
You got to get into the RIM program.
like
fast.
so easy, yeah. Like it
That's
was
awesome,
quick,
yeah.
and which was awesome for me
Would you
because
spend a semester here and get into the RIM program, or 2 maybe?
yeah, a year.
Okay.
I applied my second semester.
it usually
here.
takes 2.
yeah. So like
up-
my
2.
so like my second semester, like spring of 2016, is when I applied for candidacy.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
So like I was only here for a semester, then I applied, and then I was in the next.
Nice. See, I
Um,
came in like with 25 credits, but that's because I did a year of community college before I came here.
Where at?
So it was called Ivy Tech. It was
Oh,
back in
okay.
Indiana. It was just
Oh,
like
okay.
a bullshit ass school. I mean, it was like kind of like high school all over again.
Yeah.
That easy.
As community college can be.
Yeah, it's just how it is. But I just got gen eds stuff,
Yeah.
and then I came in with more credits. That's the only reason I was able to get in after a year.
Yeah.
And I still was like, didn't know if I was gonna get in because my math grade wasn't that great. I mean, it wasn't.
And you were
horrible, but-
audio,
And I was audio,
yeah, which is more important.
Isn't
Yeah.
it the most competitive one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
so-
sort of, kind of like you
like
could
they
argue.
they let less people in. I thought, right?
well, like
Isn't it
you
that one or
you,
songwriting.
Songwriting, they
Songwriting is
let the
the-
least amount of people in, but the least amount of people do it. So like you could argue like that's the hardest.
Because
But
there are a lot of songwriters that do audio
Per-
just because they feel like it's more like a
Yeah.
viable
what
career
is it?
option.
They told me one time like per semester, like for candidacy, they won't approve more than like 40
audio kiss.
Songwriting.
per semester. So like if 50 people apply for
10's getting cut.
10 aren't going to make it. But like that just doesn't happen a ton cuz like there's not a lot. Like per
Gotcha.
semester there might only be like 25.
Dude, getting candidacy is like the best
But
feeling. I swear.
The songwriting program over there is growing.
No,
Is
it's
it?
It's getting
dude, yeah,
too
cuz like
quick.
yeah, because like when I was a freshman, like I came as a music biz major just cuz like I had to declare a major, but I didn't know they had songwriting, but I changed it almost immediately.
Same.
You know, so like cuz I didn't know
yeah,
that.
you did.
So I changed it like almost immediately. and-
Dusty sat in the studio with me for like 2 hours, and he was like, "I'm not doing this." He was like, "This is what this is," and he was like, "This is audio production," and I was like, "Yeah," and he goes, "I'm not doing this." He was like, "I'm doing songwriting." He
Yeah.
was like, "This sucks."
Yeah.
Dude,
But-
I,
But, I wrote before, like, I came to college to do audio production.
yeah.
You pretty
So I
much
was
just
like-
picked audio just because like it sounded right, right?
Yeah, I was like,
it sounded
oh, well,
correct.
I'm going to do this thing where I'll learn how to produce my own music, and then I can make my own music. And
I mean,
I'm
it
like,
sounds good.
yeah, but
In
like,
theory, but then you're like, ah, man, I could just meet somebody and
yeah.
you become a homie with them.
That
You
was
know what I
me.
mean?
That's
Like
exactly
you
what
just become a
happened.
homie with somebody. You're like, hey, dude, like I'm
Yeah.
trying to. I don't know how to do this, but I have songs.
Yep.
And you're like,
we
oh.
need songs.
Yeah, and you're like, well,
we
hey,
need
dude, I
y'all
need-
just as much as
Exactly.
you need us. Like, it's a trade off.
That's the thing, because like part of it's like, I think it's like anything. Like if I, like I'm gonna speak for myself, but I think other people can relate to this. Like if I went into audio, like, and I started devoting all my time to like learning how to run Pro Tools and like DAWs and like mixing and mastering, like it would take away time from me like writing songs and getting
Yeah.
better at guitar. But
We
doing
talked about this last
doing
time.
all
It's
that-
like you only have one. You only have
Yeah, but-
some things that you're gonna get good at.
Right,
And you
'cause
better choose.
if I focus on like music, which I've done, like I can make demos like in Logic, like I can put down
Which
stuff
is dope, by the way.
to MIDI drums. Like, it's great because for me, most of the stuff I write is like for a band to perform. Like, I don't write as much like singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
Here's my acoustic, let me pour out my heart to you.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I'd
Gotcha.
have that stuff, but like most
That's
of the
not
stuff
your
I'm
style.
writing, I'm trying to write for like an album so that like I can put out an album with a band.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
I can go on like a Logic and just put like a MIDI drum track and like play to it,
Yeah.
and I can be like, oh, this is what it would sound like with a full band.
Yeah, you can kind of get the
You know, like I
idea
can do
down.
that, but like nothing that I have out right now, like I have put my hands on like faders.
Well, that's good.
I've let other people do
I
it,
think
and like
it's
not
good.
all of it. I mean,
Like that's what I'm
don't
gonna
get
do
me
for
wrong.
Red's next project.
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna do most of the producing, like making the beats and stuff to start out, and then of course he's writing all the music, he's writing all the songs. But like I'm gonna mix, and I said co-produce earlier lightly because I think it's gonna just naturally happen. Like I'm like
Yeah,
make
sure.
small suggestions and stuff, but. It's his album, and I'm not just saying this because I'm doing it, but it will sound, his album or EP, whatever I'm going to do for him, is going to sound better because he gets to focus on his shit.
right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it just
Yeah,
makes
he's not like
sense.
he's not worried about it. Like step one is like getting the songs.
Yep.
And
Your job for me is to come in and say, hey, make this sound this way.
yeah, like here is a finished song.
Yep.
Now finish the product.
Yep.
Of the, you know, like
Yeah.
and like for me,
Polish it.
yeah, because I can sit here all day and be like, oh yeah, dude, we should throw a 4-minute guitar solo right here. But that's a terrible idea in retrospect, you know.
yeah.
But like I'm like, oh yeah, dude, that'd be killer. And then I think about it, I'm like, wow, like who
That
really-
leads into thinking about the consumer, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but that's
really
but
what
that's
that
the
is.
thing.
It's a
Like
big part of it.
I was the person who was like, screw people. If they
Like
like,
when you first started doing
yeah.
it.
When I first started
Yeah.
writing, I was like, dude, if they don't like my stuff, dude, I don't care. I
You
don't
sound
care.
like a hip hop artist.
I'm
now.
like, dude, I don't care, man, dude. If they don't like my stuff, that's their problem. And then I was like, that is
Okay,
like,
but they kind of need to like my
yeah.
stuff
I'm like,
now.
then I'm like, well, then like I come to this realization,
need
like,
them to
wow,
like
like that
this.
is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like,
How?
wow.
When did you figure that out? I mean, you don't have to be
Never.
that. It's cool.
I still
Yeah,
don't
I'm
think
still
I
that
figured
way
it
a little
out.
bit. I mean, it's.
I mean,
an artist,
I have,
It's like,
I have songs
it's an
that
artist thing.
I have songs that like I know people are gonna like more than others. Like I can be
Yeah.
like, hey,
I get it.
I get it.
Yeah,
You
you know
know?
how to balance it.
Yeah, like dude, like don't get me
but
wrong.
sometimes you're gonna sneak it in.
Yeah, like
Like the
I
intro
was saying-
song to your last EP was like what 7 minutes, wasn't it?
Huh?
Which
Per
one?
song, like 7
Alice?
minutes.
No, it was that one's like 5:36.
Dude,
The
every song,
single off of it is 7 minutes or something.
it's
right?
it's like 6:13.
every song,
One of the
like the
singles is
shortest song
super
that I
long.
have is like 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I just don't have short songs.
Yeah.
But I could radio edit them.
Yeah.
Every song I have, I could radio edit.
Oh, that's
But I
cool.
don't want to put the radio edit on the album. I want
No,
to
I
give
feel
you
you.
the
you know
song.
that's
That's kind of cool.
That's how
That's a
I look
cool-
at it.
that's a
I
cool
want to give
thought.
people, because the thing is, I am not a typical like writer. Like I don't go in and be like, hey, dude, verse, chorus, bridge, maybe throw a chorus.
okay.
Like I don't. Sometimes I do that, but
Yeah.
like for me, when I'm writing a song, I write the song.
I'm with you.
I
on
let
that,
it
yeah.
happen because
It will happen if you
it
just
will
let
happen. Like perfect example. Like, and this is like I use this song because it's like my song.
Mhm.
Mississippi Magnolia.
Mhm.
Had no idea. I had no like idea going into writing it.
You
Like I just
write it.
started writing it.
What came first?
On that song, I had
Yeah.
that title because I thought it was cool.
Yeah,
and it's the
that's-
state flower, so like
Do you
Mississippi
do that?
Magnolia.
Isn't that something that you do sometimes? You start
Start
with
with the title. Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
mean, if
like
I have a
doing that,
title, I'll be
don't
like,
you?
oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna use that as a title. Like
Yeah.
I'll make it the hook or
He's
whatever.
always been good at making titles.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most important part. People want to
The
look at a
most
song
important
and be like,
part.
oh, that Mississippi Magnolia.
It's
What's
like
that?
it's
You know?
like if you're going through
Whatever.
it's like if you're going through like a bunch of news articles, it's like the headline, whatever sticks out most to you is what you're going to click
Ooh.
on.
I never thought about like
just
that.
like it.
Yeah.
I mean, you took classes with Odie.
Yeah.
Blackman,
yeah.
his whole thing was like when we would bring titles, if he didn't like them, he'd say, could you put it on the t-shirt? If
Yeah.
you can't
Oh,
put it on a t-shirt, it's
shit.
not a good title. If you could not put just your title on a t-shirt and somebody would wear it, it's not a good title.
Yeah.
Damn.
Odie's smart as far as songwriting
It's
goes.
harsh. It's harsh, but like it makes me think like when I'm writing a song, like let's say the song has a super like long kind of hook. Like this song that I have, like it's just a country tune I have called "Take Me Back to Tennessee." Great title, but realistically, it would look better on a shirt if it just said either "Take Me Back" or "Back to Tennessee."
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like the 3-word is much more
Yeah.
than giving them the whole.
It's a little easier to digest.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like I would rather put the shorter one than like say all those words, and
Yeah.
and it's like a song that I don't have a finished title. That's why I just use the whole name. You
I
know what I
mean,
mean?
I don't think it's horrible though.
It's not
a
horrible,
mouthful.
but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's the concept of it. But anyways, yeah. So I don't try to like force songs out.
So
So-
speaking of titles,
Yeah.
the next title, and I'm gonna segue into this because I'm gonna be straight up with y'all. I gotta take an authentic pee.
Oh,
So,
yes, me too.
I gotta go, son. So the next, we're gonna take a break. The
I'm with it.
next, feeling that? You feeling the potty break?
Yeah.
It comes,
okay.
yeah.
So
Okay.
the song that I chose, so the way that we played this was, and we might have to pick another one because I don't know how long we're gonna go.
Yeah.
But we're already at 110. But so the song that I picked was Highway.
Which version? Like the more produced one that's like got the hits.
EP version.
Yeah.
So wait, is the single version different? Because
Yeah, so
I did not listen to the single version. I listened to the EP.
The single version that has the white with the green
Yeah.
stencil.
Correct. Yeah.
That is the same song, but it's like more stripped back and acoustic.
Okay.
Which is like we put it out as
We might use that for the intro then.
yeah. We
Yeah.
put
Yeah.
that one out as a single because like I just wanted to put a feeler out there. That was like the first one I put
Yeah.
out.
Did you put acoustic
then-
by it or anything?
No, because it's not really acoustic. It has a full band, but it's just like
a
A
different.
different
It's-
take, kind of.
yeah, and
That's
like
really
it doesn't
cool.
have the solo and it doesn't have like it has some of the parts taken out, so it's like a little bit more condensed.
Okay.
So
you
like
just,
a
like-
radio, a single.
Kind of single
Yeah.
like.
I got you.
But then the album one, like we had recorded like a full band, like rocking with the solo and everything.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, we'll throw that on the EP because people will know the song, but then they'll be like, oh wow, like if they listen to both.
That's cool. Okay, I like that idea.
But I know a lot of people didn't because they didn't realize it, so they just listened to the EP and
Yeah.
that's what I did.
yeah,
That's what I did.
which
So,
is why I put it on there. You know?
honestly, so I like that song because and it just makes me feel like something that I could relate to. And when I was talking to Dusty about like choosing the songs, I was like, okay, or it was his idea. He's like, you pick one, I'll pick one. I was like, sweet. So like, I'm gonna come up with a really good reason as to why I'm picking this. So it's
Yeah.
just like something. I was like, we started with that EP like when we both sat down and just listened to everything all straight through both EPs. So when that was the first song, and I was like, I hate to be like this, but like
I'm picking this one.
I'm already picking this one. And he was like, okay, but I just feel like it reminds me of being just kind of like taking chances and just like doing what you want. I mean,
Yeah.
I know that's what it was written about, at least unless there's something different that you
No,
could
dude.
give
Well,
about it. But
I wrote that song while I was driving. Like the opening,
Okay,
like the
that's
opening
cool.
line says, "I took Highway 78 from Atlanta to the ocean." Not totally true, but I
I
was.
love that line.
But I was driving on Highway 78 going out to this little town called Crawfordville, Georgia.
okay,
And like I lost all my service, and so like I started singing, and like I was just trying to get like a melody, so I just kind of sang what I was doing,
feeling,
yeah.
like what I was just doing, just to like get the idea down.
gotcha.
And
It's good. It's so good.
And,
My computer- or the screen.
so, anyways, I mean that's like how I wrote that one. Like I was just like going down the road, you
Okay.
know, and like it was just
So give us a little more of a description and an intro to the song.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it queued up on the mixer. So
perfect.
go ahead.
Yeah, so I wrote that one. Like I said, I was driving down Highway 78, like coming out of Atlanta. I was going. I was actually gonna play at this camp in Crawfordville, Georgia, and like.
Okay.
And so I was just singing in the car, and like luckily like I didn't have service, but like my phone's like voice memo
Mm-hmm.
thing was still working.
Yeah.
And so like somewhere I'd have to like go find it, but like I have like an original version of me just kind of like humming a melody and singing those words. And so I wrote all of the verses, and I didn't have the chorus yet. Like, I didn't know
Okay.
what the chorus. Like I had all the verses done, and so I ended up coming back and I finished that one, and that was the first one written for that EP. And like, see, the EP came out in September of last year, right? So September of 2018. I wrote that song like early 2016.
Okay.
Like that was, I had that song for like a year or two, and it was like the first. I was like, hey, on my next EP, that's gonna be the single.
Yeah.
Like I just wrote it, and I was like, hey, I really liked it, you know. So, anyways, there are 2 versions
Swag.
of this song. If you haven't heard it, please go check it out. There's a country version, which is the single. It has a green cover, and then the yellow cover.
Oh, who did the cover, by the way? Because I really like it.
So
Well done.
Is it all the same person
who
that
did?
has done your different EPs and your
So,
single?
so the singles and the first EP, Hurricane, were done by. So the guy who engineered that first EP, his name is Schiller Poland.
Okay.
His girlfriend, Kristen, I believe is her name. She did graphic design, and like she actually drew those by hand. Like she looked at a picture of me and like drew those.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
But then the more recent one with the 4 hats was done by Dylan Estes.
Our boy.
And yeah, he's my boy. We can talk about him later, but
Here is Highway
yeah, here's
by
Highway.
Drake Freeman.
I took Highway 78 from Atlanta to the ocean just to get away, just so I could run. I was born a gypsy, born to roam from town to town. So I